to try that brownie loaf that everybody is talking about and trying. And I want to kind of do it my way. I don't know. All I know is that I'm going to add brownie mix. And I kind of followed the back of the package. And it says that it needs like water, oil, and an egg. So I am going to add an egg. Maybe like a half an egg, because I'm not going to use this whole thing. And I'm going to add a little bit of oil to it as well. And I have no idea, because I've never seen anybody do it like this before. So we're just gonna flow with it. Okay. Now we're gonna do 300 grams of water. I have a feeling it's gonna be super sticky dough. 300 grams of water. Perfect. 100 grams of active starter. That's a little bit too much, but that's okay. Let me get them back in the jar here. I'm going to be using all this today, so that's why I'm putting it back in there. Plus, my starter's always thick, so a little bit extra water is not going to hurt it. We're going to stay with 105 because fuck it. All right. Now, I want to go ahead and add my scrambled egg here. I'm only going to do like that much of it. I'm going to say half an egg. I have no idea what I'm doing. Okay, and then 20 grams of olive oil. This could be a masterpiece or it could be a flop. All right, so let's go. And usually it calls for olive or canola, but something told me just go ahead and use olive oil. So this should be interesting. All right. We're gonna give this a stir and then we'll add our dry ingredients. We are fully mixed up and it's looking like a bunch of scrambled eggs, but it's fully incorporated. Now I am going to do 0 out my scale. And I'm gonna do 300 grams of bread flour. 300 grams of bread flour. And then I'm gonna do 10 grams of salt. Can't see it. You need a bigger scale. 10 grams of salt. And then whatever brownie mix you choose. I'm in Canada, so Compliments brand. Okay. Oh, it smells like good brownie mix. We're gonna do 200 grams of this brownie mix. The scale just said 222. That's a good number. All right. Oh my God, I'm so nervous. 200 grams, they said, right? Oh, there's chunks in here. There's chocolate chunks in here. I did not know that. Eee. Come on. It's taking forever. Yeah, okay, we're gonna leave it there. This is gonna be interesting. Deluxe brownies. This one. All right, we're gonna mix this up until fully incorporated. And we're gonna see how this mixes up. I may need to add more flour. I don't know. I tried to make up for the extra ingredients and like substitute and flip-floppy, but I have a feeling I might need more flour already. I need more flour. This is way too sticky for my liking. So I'm gonna, yeah, I'll weigh it for you guys so you can see how much more we add. The 116? 120. Let's start with 120. So I added a little bit more flour, and in total we're doing 165 grams extra on top of that 300. So 465 grams is what I've used, and it's starting to mix very well. So I'm gonna keep going with this, and I'm gonna get my my scraper out until it's a shaggy dough, and I'll bring you guys back. It is still very extremely sticky, but I can see that it's gonna incorporate and get thicker. I'm doing just a good mix in the beginning. You know me, I'm liking building those gluten bonds early in the beginning. Getting in there with your hand, even though it's nasty, not in that initial mix at the end, is really gonna ensure that you are fully incorporated and that there's nothing missing, okay? I'm gonna leave this. I wanna try and scoop it together. Okay. I'm gonna leave this guy to sit for half an hour, and we'll check on it for stretch and fold. I'm actually gonna let it sit for an hour instead of 30 minutes. Because that's what I wanna do. So we'll be back in an hour. It's been an hour, and it is time to do stretch and fold number 1 on our brownie. So here's our brownie loaf right now. And as I mentioned, when I was pouring out the loaf, I realized that there was chunks of chocolate already. So I found these Skor toffee bits in my cupboard. So I said, what the fuck? We're gonna put them in, why not? So we're gonna have little toffee bits. This is gonna be, oh, I forgot to get my hand wet. I'm gonna do that because, yeah. Hand is wet. We're gonna pour some more toffee bits. Much better. Oh, it's gonna be a sweet loaf. I'm not a big chocolate fan. I'm weird with sweets and foods, but everybody in my house is. All of them. So I'm excited. It smells fantastic. Come on. Stretch and fold. Stretch and fold. Okay, y'all, this is what she looks like. We'll be back in half an hour with another stretch and fold. Stretch and fold number 2 on the brownie mix. It smells really sweet already. I was contemplating whether or not to put more Skor bits in, but she's pretty sweet already. So I think I'm gonna leave it. I don't know. I feel like it's gonna be too much. So the toffee's melting and it's adding more moisture to it. So I'm just gonna kind of stop with the inclusions on that first go around. And we're gonna tuck this in a nice little ball and come back to it in a half an hour. Remember, this dough, no matter what we're doing, is gonna be sticky. Time for our third set of stretch and folds. My hand's a little wet. So this sticky dough, this is gonna be a high hydration loaf. Doesn't stick to my hands. I'm gonna fold it a couple extra times to tighten it up. I have found thus far on my journey that with the high hydration loaves, you gotta work them a little bit more, but they will come together for you. Okay, and that's why I'm also not adding more inclusions, right? So this is what it's looking like. Put her down for one more nap before the last, and then we'll double, we'll let it double in size, bulk ferment. All right, y'all, final stretch and fold, and then we're going to let this sit in bulk ferment until it doubles in size. Usually the way I do mine, it takes about 2 hours, 2 to 3 hours. And I put them in my oven with the light on. I'm gonna get my hand wet. This is what it's looking like. Lots of moisture. Okay. I'll do one more. Yeah. I'm gonna pinch anything that looks open, which there's really not, and tuck it up underneath. And we're just gonna let her sit looking like this. Okay, see you in a bit. It's time to shape our brownie loaf. Okay, I'm gonna get my scraper out of the dishwasher. This is a sticky loaf, although it does want to fall away. So let's see what she does. I'm curious. I'm gonna put lots of flour down. It is coming away from the bowl pretty well. So I'm just gonna help it so I have less mess. Oh, I like to put some on top. Okay, there's that. I'm gonna kind of pull it apart. Now we're gonna shape it. I'm gonna do like this, once over. Like this, it's starting to stick. I'm gonna put flour on this side. That's a toffee spot. It's still sticky even with the flour. Okay, that's better. We're gonna just pinch these together because there's lots of toffee ooey gooey goodness in here. Okay, we're gonna roll. It's sticking. I might need my scraper. Hopefully not, but don't be afraid to use flour if you need to. Push and tuck. It's sticky as fuck right there. My fingers are gonna mess this up. I'm gonna be very gentle with it. Doing mini tucks because it wants to, it's very, very sticky. Just gonna quick wash my hands. Hands are washed. And I'm gonna use my scraper here. Let me get a little bit of flour on it to kind of help tuck it. Kind of doing like a backwards tuck and roll. All right. That's much better. All right, we got into a tight bowl. I'm gonna flour this like, this is gonna, I don't want to jinx it, but hopefully this doesn't mess up this. This is what she's looking like in there. I'm gonna flour. Just make sure. Just to make sure. This flour, the reason why I'm flouring this loaf, because it's gonna suck it up. I'm not even gonna know. I'm gonna put this in the fridge until I'm ready to bake with it. Okay, it is time to put our chocolate loaf in the oven. I'm gonna put some rice. Our Dutch oven has been preheated at 450 along with the oven. Got some rice in here, some parchment paper. All right, that works. Now, hold on, I want to slide this over. We've got our chocolate loaf here. I'm interested to see how she moves for us. All right, okay. All right, brownie loaf. Let's see what you got. I feel like I should do the usual here. Or maybe I'll do it. This is sticky dough, y'all. Just try to give it an extra cut so it lifts better. And then we're gonna do good old wheat. It is tearing on my knife. Okay, I think that's all I'm gonna do because she's coming apart. Pop it in here and we're gonna let her bake, for 20 minutes with the lid on. And then we're gonna take the lid off and do another 22 minutes, my bad. It has been 22 minutes and I've taken the lid off. This is what she's looking like. I don't know, we'll see. Chocolate loaf is out of the oven and it is looking fantastic. It's very hot. Hold on. This is what it's looking like. Okay, the bottom's dark, but it doesn't smell burnt. It's probably just the chocolate. I don't know. That's what it's looking like. Definitely brown. Remember, we put brownie mix in this and toffee. So we're gonna let it cool off and then we're gonna cut into it and see what it's like. I don't know where my taste tester went, but it is time to cut into the brownie loaf. So he'll just have to have some afterwards. I'm gonna cut into her. Again, this is what it looks like. Good. All right. I'm excited and nervous. I don't know what to think. This is cake and bread mixed together. It's weird. All right. I'm going to cut off the edge. Guys like doing this because they get a little cap to hold their bread together. Okay. It's a little dense. You can see it, but I think that's toffee. I think that's toffee. We're gonna find out. It smells like bread and cake. That's so weird. Okay. Can you tell I'm not a crust girl? Okay. It's a little dense, but it is fucking delicious. Oh my gosh. You should have some of this. You really should. Try it out at home. Let me know how it goes. Till next